Ashley Madison, have you all seen like an influx of business because of this? Have people been coming in, getting divorces or anything? What have you seen so far?
So far at this date, I don't know if Alabama is necessarily a state that's affected by this. I know that we were discussing that earlier in the week, and although that there is a long list of clients that are on Ashley Madison in Alabama, I think it'll take some time in between when people discover the infidelity and when they start to bring their claims for divorce.
However, it has had some of our clients look into more social media to see what their spouses are actually doing. And we've had some influx of calls about, what's admissible in court and what social media networks should I be looking at and what kind of information I need to gather for you. So we have had that influx of calls.
What do you all know about Ashley Madison yourselves?
Well, personally, I know a little bit about Ashley Madison. I know that it's a website where married men can go and they essentially pay for a service of finding a girlfriend that's willing to spend time with them, both personally and sexually and physically, for money. Mm-hmm. It's essentially a website that promotes prostitution. So if you're signed up for Ashley Madison, you're paying for sex. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what I know about it.
And for the people, the hackers release these names and it's supposed to be private or whatever. How does that work?
I think it's the price that you pay when you engage in a social media network that you don't have the ability to stop information from getting out to the mainstream. Plus, it's kind of a price that you take. It's a risk that you take if you're married. If you're going to step outside of your relationship, you are taking a risk. And some clients are okay with that risk. And, honestly, computers have made it sort of easier to feel that disconnect from being faithful to your spouse and from anyone finding out, and easier to find that person to cheat with.
We've been placing in our interrogatories for years, are you a member? And if you don't know, an interrogatory is a question that you're asked and you're supposed to answer that under oath, and the answers to that are admissible in court. And we've been asking for years in those when we serve them on opposing parties in a case where infidelity may be suspected. Do you have an eHarmony account? Do you already have a Match.com account? Do you have an Ashley Madison account? And those words, Ashley Madison, has been in there for years. So we've always known that this exists. And as attorneys that work in this field, it's our obligation to ask if it does. Now, do people admit to it? 99% of the time, even though it's under oath, they say no because they think they're not going to get caught. Well, newsflash, you've been caught.
Well, that and credit card statements reflect a payment, a monthly premium to Match.com or to any kind of social dating website. So even if they don't admit to it in interrogatory, when we subpoena their bank records, we do find that information. And cases are won and lost on Facebook postings already. So social media plays a big part in divorce law.
Mm-hmm. Cases are won and lost on infidelity too. It still matters in the state of Alabama whether or not you're faithful to your wife or your husband. This is not a community property state. This is a fault state. So according to the law, it should still matter. Ask us how good of an attorneys we are and how everybody
You can't
should
do
run
that.
it.
You can't promote yourself over other attorneys. Stop it. Behave.
We're non-judgmental law firms. If you're using Ashley Madison, come on down.
But if somebody wanted to get a divorce because of Ashley Madison, what are the proper steps should they go through? Should they call you? Should they consult with you two?
They should absolutely call us before anything happens so that we can mitigate any damages or any kind of problems they're going to face in an ensuing divorce. You don't want to contact an attorney after you've been served for a divorce. If you see that a divorce is impending, coming down the pipeline, that's the time to call your attorney and say, this is what has happened in my relationship. This is the faults that I have. Help me best defend myself.
Also, it's important when you do find out about infidelity in a marriage, and it is what you think is going to be the cause of your divorce, to go ahead and contact an attorney and talk to them about it, because there is a little known thing in Alabama called condonation, where if you find out about the affair and you then decide to try to reconcile with your spouse, it's not going to be as valuable to you in court. So if you have gotten on social media and you have gotten on the Ashley Madison list and you have discovered the infidelity, don't just sit and wait and do nothing, because you could suffer for it in the end.
That is true.
Have you ever seen any cases like this dealing with something like Ashley Madison? Like, I know
The best
with Facebook
analogy,
and
the best
Twitter.
analogy is Facebook and Match.com.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, routinely, spouses will come in with printed out screenshots from Facebook or Match.com with their spouse's profile, or them kissing or being with another person romantically. And that's important. Like, if you find that kind of thing on social media, to go ahead and do that screenshot, because very often, and the very first advice from counsel is to take down your Facebook, take down your social media, and go ahead and deactivate it. So when you do that, the spouse that's caught the other one cheating loses their evidence.
I would say that 9 out of 10 divorces that we do at this office, and we do pretty much exclusively divorces at this office, involve some kind of outing via the internet. Whether a married man or woman is in a relationship with somebody that doesn't know that they're married, and that person that doesn't know they're married is posting all about their activities with this person on Facebook, and somebody catches it or finds out, whether or not they have gotten on the internet and they got a bill in the mail, like Elizabeth mentioned earlier. 9 out of 10 times we use what we find on the internet with these hookup websites or dating websites, or essentially solicitation websites like Ashley Madison, to proverbially put the nail in the coffin of the other person who we're suing for divorce.
Yeah, have anything else you'd like to say?
America, hell yeah.
I would say that the number one reason that we find that people get divorced is issues over debts and money and income. They have discrepancies and they can't resolve those issues, so they fight about their financial resources. The number 2 reason that we find in our office that divorce is initiated is to catch the other spouse cheating or about to cheat. Most spouses may not exactly cheat, but they definitely have someone in mind they want to cheat with, and they have flirted with that opportunity, and that's enough to bring their spouse into our office.
That's right. Thanks so much for your time.